Welcome to the Business of Style podcast with me, your host, Louisa Gabriel. I'm a personal stylist and image strategist who grew a successful six-figure business, and now I'm educating and empowering other personal stylists and image professionals just like you to do the same. So please keep listening to hear the lessons I've learned and the strategies I've used along the way that are guaranteed to help you take your personal styling career from side hustle to six figures too. Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of the Business of Style podcast. I'm so happy that you are joining me today. And today's episode is all about PR, also known as public relations. And in this episode, I want to give you some very clear PR strategies that you can use in your personal styling business that is going to help build your reputation and grow your business. But before I can give you those strategies, I think it's really important to, first of all, actually talk about what PR really is. And second of all, why it's something that you really need to be including in the strategies for your business. I think we focus a lot on marketing strategies and maybe advertising strategies, but we forget about PR, and it really is a very important and a very effective tool to help personal stylists and image consultants grow their business. So let's dive into public relations. So what exactly is PR? Well, in simplified terms, public relations or PR is exactly what the name suggests. It's a way to build and manage relationships with the public. And when we refer to the public, we are talking about your target clients. We are talking about professional organizations. We are talking about maybe the media. We are talking about the public within your community. And that is the public within public relations. And the goal of PR is really to help you to establish a good reputation for you as an individual, for you as a business, or, and also for organizations too. And it's establishing that good reputation and also maintaining that relationship in a positive light. There are many different strategies that can be used to help develop relationships, maintain relationships, and build that positive reputation. But traditional PR, when we talk about PR, it really is about earned coverage. And what I mean by earned coverage is articles in the media, coverage that you get that is not paid for, not bought coverage. Absolutely, you can go out there and you can pay magazines, you can pay podcasts, you can pay YouTube hosts to put out a really good article about you, a really good interview for you. But when we're talking about PR, we are talking about that is earned, okay? Traditional PR is all about earned coverage and not purchased coverage. So why, as a personal stylist, is PR going to be really important to you? Well, there's really this misconception, I think, that PR is just a strategy that is used by celebrities, by public figures, all those really large organizations, and that its main job is to fix perceptions during times of scandal and crisis. Okay. And while that definitely can be a role of PR, especially in the celebrity world, we all see, those scandals happen and the PR teams jump into action to start putting a more positive spin on the situation and what's going on. But the truth is that PR is really, it's a daily activity that is used by businesses both large and small, and even solopreneurs like personal stylists and image consultants. And you know what? The truth is, you're probably already doing your own PR. You just don't actually realize it. Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you post on social media sharing your expertise as a personal stylist? Do you post on social media sharing your story, sharing information about your values as a person, as a business? Do you use posts like that to connect with potential clients? If you do, that's PR. Okay. Do you write a blog? Okay. Or do you share advice on a podcast? Guess what? That's PR. That is building your reputation. Okay. And building positive relationships with your community, with your target clients. All your social media posts, your blogs, the videos that you do, these are all PR activities. And the goal of these activities is to build that reputation as a personal stylist and a style expert and start creating positive connections, right, with your target clients. Now, while all of these things are definitely going to help build your reputation, and it's something that you should be doing and should really focus on, you want to take your personal styling business to that next level, then we need to start thinking bigger picture. And we need to start looking at other ways that you can actually earn media coverage and build effective relationships that are going to grow your business. So, I'm going to talk you through some simple yet effective PR strategies that you can start to use that is really going to help you build and expand your reputation and make sure that it's a positive reputation too. So the first thing that you should do is you should formally launch your business. Now, the one thing that I see so often with personal stylists is they don't actually have a formal launch when their business gets going. They kind of hit publish on the website and put a post on social media saying, hey, yeah, I'm open for business, I'm taking clients. But that's kind of it. Right? There's nothing else. There's no more coverage. There's no fanfare to the arrival of your new business. By skipping a formal launch, you're really missing out on some important earned media opportunities and also a way to start really building really important community relations. Because you have to remember, while we spend so much time focusing on social media and trying to connect with people on social media, the majority of your clients are going to come from within your local community. So that's where you really want to focus on building those positive relationships. And if you haven't done a launch of your business, you've missed out on a big opportunity. Now, if you don't have the financial means to actually have some kind of like launch event, launch party within the community where you live and where you're going to be providing services, then that's okay. You can have an online event to share information about yourself and about your business. But the most important thing is that you actually do take that step and make a formal launch. Now, whichever way you decide to launch your business, the most important thing is to let your local media outlets know, okay? Send them a press release, okay? Local newspapers are still a really big source of information for so many people, and they're often looking for local events and local good news stories to be able to cover and publish. And this is a good opportunity for you in your business. So send them a press release about the launch and actually invite them. If you are going to be having some kind of launch event, invite the local journalist along and that will help you actually gain some coverage. A story in your local newspaper or in some kind of online community forum is going to be really great PR for your business and a great opportunity to find new clients, because that information about what you do, who you are, your skills, your values, everything else is going to hit the right audience, the people within your community that potentially will want your services. Now, you might be sat here saying, well, that's all well and good, Louisa, but I've been in business, like over a year now, or maybe even 2 or 3 years. It's a little bit late for me to have a launch event. Well, why not consider doing a relaunch? Okay. If you didn't do it the first time around, that's okay. Think about a relaunch and get news out that way. Or maybe, send a press release about how you're celebrating your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, anniversary of your business. Or if there's some other milestone that you have achieved in your business, okay? Send that press release out. Start building a relationship with your local community media outlet and let them know whenever there is something going on of interest in your business. Your local reporter could actually be your best PR friend. Trust me on this one. They're always looking for good stories. They're looking for a local angle too. Okay. And that's exactly what you are giving them. So get to know who they are and start sending them those press releases, whether it be a formal launch of your business, a relaunch of your business, or just something, some other story that is going to be of interest. So, the next PR strategy that is pretty simple but highly effective is to start sharing your style expertise in the press. Now, a few years ago, well, probably over a decade ago, this was a little harder than it is nowadays. You really had to research publications, you had to try and make those connections, it was kind of a nightmare to do on your own unless you were working with, a public relations specialist. And let's face it, we can't all afford to be, spending money on PR consultants. But there are things we can do ourselves. And nowadays, because of, the advancement in technology, it makes it so much easier for us. Now, have you ever seen those articles in, different online publications, maybe even if you, buy print publications, that where there's a heading, a personal stylist shares their expert advice on how to dress for fall. Or, maybe the best way to style oversized blazers according to 3 personal style experts. Now, you may think when you read these that this is a paid PR consultant, okay, that got these stylists coverage in the press. And while definitely some of them are, you can actually do this yourself and you can do it for free. You could be that next style expert out there that is sharing their tips with, the Daily Mail or the Huffington Post, whichever it may be. How do you go about doing that? Well, it's all thanks to a platform called Haro, which is Haro. Now, this actually stands for Help a Reporter Out. And it's a platform where journalists actually go on there and they submit requests for expert help with articles that they're writing on specific topics. And anyone who meets their specific requirements can submit a response to be considered for use in the article. Depending on what the journalist is looking for, responses could give you a complete article, or it could be, a quote that you have made in a larger piece. But it's your name in print with a link to your business. And this is such a great way to build your reputation. Now, Haro offers a completely free version that you can use, so definitely go and check that out. And one thing what you do need to do is you need to read the instructions carefully, though, because there is a set format on how to actually respond and how to write up your respondent. It's not complicated, but it is, you do need to do it in the proper format in order to be considered. And you can set up notifications so it comes right to your email box every single day, all the requests for information on certain topics. Okay, you can look through, make sure that you meet the qualifications, the requirements, make sure that what you are talking about, that you can actually give an answer to the question and submit it. There's no guarantee that they're going to use it, but hey, it's always worth taking a chance. And that's how we see a lot of stylists nowadays getting coverage in the media. It's not by paying for articles to be written. It's not by having a PR consultant go out and do the legwork and start giving quotes on their behalf. It's something that you can actually do yourself. So definitely worth checking out. And I will put the link to the Hara website in the show notes so you can go and check it out for yourself. The next thing that you can do is you can make a guest appearance as a style expert. Okay, think of a topic, and I can guarantee you that there's a podcast about it. You want to learn how to grow some plants? There's a podcast that's going to tell you the best way to do that without killing them. And I personally should probably listen to that one because I'm no good with plants. But if you want to get insider information on, let's say, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, there's a podcast exactly for that. And of course, there are many different podcasts that cover personal style and fashion in some kind of context. Now, as a style and image expert, that means there are a lot of opportunities in the podcasting world for you to start sharing your knowledge. And by sharing your knowledge, you start building your reputation. And you also gain free publicity and exposure by being a guest. So if you think that, this could be a good PR strategy for you, it's not going to be for everybody. You've got to figure out if it works with the goals for your business and your personal goals. And you've got to, figure out if it's something that you are comfortable doing. But if you think this might be a good strategy and something that you want to try, then all you need to start doing is add your name to online podcast guest directories. Okay, there's so many different ones out there. One that I do personally use is podcastguest.com. Definitely check it out. I will put that in the show notes too for you, or if there's podcasts that you listen to yourself, and you think, hey, this really aligns with me and my business, then create a quick one sheet profile of you and your areas of expertise. Submit it directly to the podcast. Okay. And see if, they'll accept you as a guest for an upcoming episode. But if you really want to use, the incredible PR opportunity that podcast has to offer, then probably the best way to do it is to actually just go ahead and start your own. Okay. All you need to start a podcast, and I can share this from firsthand experience because it's how I started this podcast. All you need is either a phone to record the episodes on or a computer, and you can get yourself a free account, with something like the Spotify for podcasters, completely free. We'll share your podcast on all the major podcast platforms And all you have to do is come up with the idea for each episode and then just start creating the episodes. Start sharing your knowledge. Start building your reputation as a style expert with your own podcast. It's all been made so very easy for us these days, but you've got to actually, take the action and take those steps to start building your reputation. And then one final PR strategy that I want to talk about today is making philanthropy part of your personal styling business. Now, I personally am a big believer in charity work. I'm a big believer in giving back for no other purpose than to help others. But that being said, I also recognize that by giving back and doing charity work, that there is a bonus positive impact. And that is that these activities that I do, if I do them, using my name and or using my business name, it can have such a positive impact on my business too. Okay. Being involved with a local charity, hosting or sponsoring different charity events, even donating your time and services is a great way to build a positive reputation within your local community and within virtual communities too. So think about the charities and causes that you have a really deep connection with and that align with your values, and get involved. But what I do want to say is be sure that your philanthropic efforts truly come from that place of good intention and that you are not solely doing them from a place of self promotion. Okay. You really want to make sure that it is something that is just your desire to do it to help others is so much bigger and more important than your desire to get good press and good publicity from it. That should just be an added bonus to actually doing something good and giving back. So I want to put that out there. It is a good PR strategy, okay, but it shouldn't just be used as a PR strategy. So those are some simple yet effective things that you can start doing. You don't need a PR consultant to actually do this. You can do them for yourself. So as you're coming up with your activities for your business, and building, where you want to go next, whether it be for the next quarter, for in the new year, start thinking about public relations. Start thinking about how you can build this into your plan and your marketing activities, because reputation is so important when it comes to building a successful styling business. Okay. Be sure to add PR activities to your to-do list and take the steps now to start building yours and establish your credibility as a personal stylist and a business owner. So that's it for me. I hope this was helpful, and I will catch you on the next episode. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Business of Style podcast, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever a new episode is available. And if you're looking for additional training and resources to help you in your career as a personal stylist, then be sure to head over to my website, styleacademyintl.com.